Is sugar bad? Yes and no. Sugar is a vital source of energy, but it is also really bad for you. First, let me explain to you how it works. There are two hormones called leptin and insulin. Leptin comes from your fat cell and goes to your brain. Tells your brain, hey, you have enough energy on board to engage in activities. You can go burn energy and feel good doing it. So leptin tells your brain when you have enough energy and to go burn it. But if your leptin goes down, or your brain cannot see your leptin, then your brain sees that as starvation. Now insulin tells your fat cells to store energy and your brain to stop. It tells your brain, hey, I'm in the middle of a meal. Stop, I don't need any more. Let me deal with what I got. Now, let me give you an example of how this works. What happens if you give a 5-year-old a cookie? They get a lot of energy and become hyper. They start running around and get what you call a sugar high. So, what happens there is that the fat cells get filled because of the cookie. Leptin goes up to your brain and says, hey, I've got extra energy on board. It tells the sympathetic nerve system, the part that innervates your muscles and fat cells, hey, I got too much energy. Then it tells you to go burn it. Therefore, the kid goes running around to burn the extra energy. This is a good cycle that keeps you in energy balance, as long as you can see your leptin. Now, what happens if you give an obese 5-year-old a cookie? They go looking for more. They want more. There is no sugar high for them, and that is why they are obese, because they can't see their leptin. If they could see their leptin, then they would get a sugar high, but they don't. Something is blocking the leptin signal, but what is it? Another thing that happens when they can't see their leptin is that they start storing their energy because the brain thinks that you are starving. So there are two outcomes to this. If the brain can't see leptin, equals not hungry, burn energy. If the brain can't see leptin, equals hungry, store energy. We also have what you call leptin deficient people. It is people who are born without leptin in their body. Now on the screen you can see a picture of some analytics from the aging process of one that is leptin deficient compared to 3 other normal subjects that are not leptin deficient. You can see that already from the age of 6 months, the leptin deficient person is already obese. You can see that it just keeps increasing, and this is because the body thinks that it's starving all the time. And it's telling the body to store the energy, not to burn it. So they just keep gaining more weight. And on the top there, you see a big spike. And that is when they start going for treatment and they get leptin in their body from a bottle because they can't produce leptin themselves. So there you see a drastic change in weight loss. And most of it is just fat. But most people are not leptin deficient. In fact, there are only a few people who are that, under 100 people in the world. Most people are leptin resistant. The thing that blocks leptin signals is actually insulin. And it is because we have way too much insulin in our bodies now. So where does all this insulin come from? Now let me show you what sugar is. We have glucose and fructose. Glucose is essential. Every cell on the planet uses glucose for energy. It is so important that if you don't eat it, your body makes it. But fructose is not good. There is no part of your body that needs fructose. But it is really sweet and we love it. So one question is, what do we do with fructose if we don't need it? I'll answer that in a bit. We also have something called sucrose, which is a combination of glucose and fructose. Sucrose is what we call table sugar, cane sugar, and the thing we put in our coffees. It is also bad. So glucose is good and fructose is bad. Same goes for sucrose, equally as bad. Many say sugar is just empty calories, but fructose metabolism is different. So that is not true. First, I'll show you how we metabolize glucose, which is good for you. So when you metabolize glucose, 80% of it goes to your muscles and 20% goes to your liver. In the liver, most of it goes to a thing called glycogen. Glycogen is the part where you store your energy for later. It is the first energy that is used, for example, when you fast. If you store more in your glycogen stores, then you have more energy in reserve. That is a good thing. Some of it also goes down into your fat cells, but it's only a small amount because most of it went elsewhere. So it's okay. But fructose metabolism is different. When you metabolize fructose, 100% of it goes to your liver, and none of it goes to glycogen. Almost all of it goes to your fat cells. It also makes you resist insulin more, which makes your body have to make more insulin. And then the high insulin goes to your brain and blocks the leptin signals. Then you can't see your leptin anymore. Then it makes you think that you're starving, and then you consume more fructose. So the cause of high insulin levels today is because of sugar. I also want to show you guys what happens to your brain by eating sugar. So on the screen now, there's a picture and I want you to look at it. On the left side, there's a normal subject that is not under any substance use. Then more to the right, you have someone who has been doing cocaine for 1 month. And even more to the right, you have someone who has done cocaine for 4 months. Now you see a big difference there. The dopamine receptors have been damped down a lot. Since they have been damped down by the high dopamine levels that cocaine gives, once this happens, you need more to get the same effect. Over time, by having such high dopamine levels, you gain more resistance to it. So the next time, you need more to get the same effect. This also applies to obese people. Now look at this next picture. Here you have a normal person and an obese person. Now you see there too, it's similar. The obese person has smaller dopamine receptors because of the high dopamine they get from the food they take in. Now it's not as bad as cocaine, but it's similar. So every time you eat, you get high dopamine levels, you gain a bit of tolerance to it, so the next time you need more to get the same reward. So a quick summary, Your brain needs to see leptin to be able to tell you that you are full and need to go burn energy. If you cannot see your leptin, it's because of your high insulin levels that are blocking the leptin signal. You have high insulin levels because of the way you metabolize fructose. Sugar is made of glucose and fructose. Fructose is bad and glucose is good. Fructose gives you a lot of fat and it makes you need more insulin, which makes you make too much and ends up blocking your leptin signals. It also is addicting because of the high dopamine levels it gives you, and you gain more resistance to it, so the next time you need more to get the same reward. So, how do I stop this? You have to reduce the amount of sugar that you eat.